Well, welcome to 52 Biscuits. As I mentioned in earlier videos, I'm going to finally make biscuits by using the actual recipe because a lot of times, and the oven is it's heated, it's ready to go. On the back of the White Lily self-rising flour, it says 2 cups of white lily. 2 cups is in here. And then it says to add a 1/4 cup of vegetable shortening. This could be, and that's what I'm using. A lot of times we use the fat that's out of like cheese or maybe butter. And I usually use my fingers or I use my spoon to do this. And then 2/3 cup of milk, 2 tablespoons of butter melted. It's optional. So I won't do that now. I'm going to brush them. So in a large bowl, cut in shortening with a pastry blender or 2 knives until crumbs are the size of peas. I just can't do that with 2 knives. I mean, I could try, but that's just something else I'm going to have to clean. And I don't want to do that. And then it says, add buttermilk or milk. You can add 3/4 of buttermilk or 2/3 cup of milk. But it says to mix with a fork after you've done this. So to make sure that I can, that I know, I'm going to use my hand to do the flour. How you use 2 knives, I'm not really sure.
We have a pastry cutter.
Well, that's something else. The least amount that you have to clean up, that's usually what I had prefer to do. But if you use your hands, it's a little easier. I think it goes faster. I can't imagine using 2 knives and how it goes. I mean, I guess if you're going to have just a nice, slow, casual day. But if I would have been using my spoon, I would have had it already mixed up by now. But I'm trying to use this, trying to go by the I could keep doing this, but that's not going to be peas because there's just not enough. There's some of them that are about the size of peas, but I'm going to use a fork to mix this up. 2/3 cup of milk. All right. And then it says, turn them out on a lightly floured. There, that's lightly. And I still got that's another utensil I have to clean. What else are you going to do while they're in the oven though, right? It'd be a lot easier to pull this out of the bowl if I was using a spoon. There, I used the fork. And with a spoon, that's a bite of biscuit right there. That would hold some butter. Okay. Then it says to knead gently 5 to 6 times until smooth, and then roll dough into a 7-inch circle. I don't usually use a rolling pin because I don't want to smash it all. But it says 3/4 inch. I measured this, and my fork that's a good thing to use. It has to be at least as tall as the fork. Okay. And then it says I'm going to cut with a 2-inch. This is 2 1/4. The other one is like a lot smaller, but I'll just see. Man, that's going to make some small biscuits. I'll do it though. I'm following the recipe. 2 inches. It says it's going to make 7 to 8 biscuits. You'll like to and to put them, space them about 1 inch apart. If you got, there's 6.
That's 5.
5, 6, 7. Okay. It says I didn't cut these like really. Okay, so it says it makes 7 to 8 biscuits, but then toward the end of it, it says bake 8 to 10 minutes until golden brown, makes 1 dozen biscuits. So let's make 1 dozen biscuits. There's 2 more. That's 9.
That's 10.
That's what happens when you're in the mornings. I don't think we're going to get 1 dozen.
Yeah, that's 1 dozen right there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, God. See what happens when you have to use a recipe? All right, I'm going to let that one be. We're going to say that's going to make 1 dozen. Okay, and this says bake 8 to 10 minutes until golden brown. What can you do in 8 to 10 minutes? Well, I know we can clean the kitchen, and then we'll get some, maybe some bacon and some other stuff, because I really wanted biscuits with some honey this morning. So let's clean it all up, and we'll see what happens in about 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 9 minutes. Oh! And here we go. Until golden brown. Golden brown, and then we'll brush some butter on them. They do look good. And I'm assuming they're going to taste just like the others. Light, fluffy, delicious. Yeah. We'll set that one on there. Get the bottom all buttery too. Okay. For the fun of it, I'm going to get this one because I didn't cut it particularly the best. All right. So light, airy, fluffy, smells delicious. I know it's going to be great. Yeah. I'm not used to cooking them that fast. So usually in the mornings, you have time to stick these in the oven and go shave and brush your teeth and get ready for the day. And 8 to 10 minutes sometimes is just not long enough. But you could have done it if I didn't have to use a fork. It's just to mix it up really quick. Is a lot easier to do when when you're used to making biscuits, you'll notice, and y'all, I do know how to count. It's just whenever I'm trying to go by a recipe and making sure that, okay, is this really going to come out to what it says? I usually just mix them up and cut them, and I'll be doggone if this is not a 2-inch cutter. I never measured them because usually with the biscuits, I want a larger biscuit than this. Now, these taste like the ones that are large. So depending on how you're going to be serving them and what you're serving them with, if you have lots of jams and jellies and preserves and stuff that you want to try, a lot of times it's not as easy to have just like a big biscuit, because now you don't want to put that many things on just one biscuit. If they're smaller, like these 2-inch biscuits, now instead of having 1 or 2 biscuits, I may be able to have 3, because I have some cheese, I have honey, and there's probably something else I'm gonna want to. But with the honey, I'm gonna put this one in honey. With this one, I'm just gonna pour honey all over it because it needs more butter. Because I wanted honey this morning for breakfast, and honey on top of a freshly baked biscuit with lots of butter. Sometimes there's just nothing finer. That's all you need. So I hope that you enjoyed the pleasure of making biscuits from the recipe. And yes, you can. Once you know, basically, and you have it memorized in your head, you don't really go back to that. But when you do, just be aware that your counting may be off if you're using everything by the directions, because I'm just not used to counting or anything. I'm just used to, I'm going to mix these up, I'm going to put them, have my oven set, and that's okay. But if you're cooking with, if you're expanding the recipe to account for more family or guests that are coming over, that's usually when you count, and then you look at the oven, it's like, how long is it going to take? So you can back up. If they're going to be here in 30 minutes, well, then I'd probably be mixing them up right now. But if it's 2 hours, you can back up from however long you know it takes you to make a pan of biscuits. So there you go. That's, I did it. I finally made some by recipe. And that was very difficult. I don't know what's so hard about just following a recipe, but you can. Some things that I would not do, that I just don't ever do, is I don't ever mix things up with a fork because I have to clean it, and I'm used to using a spoon. And I don't roll out biscuits because our roller is really heavy, and rolling out something to be 3/4 inch is going to be harder than rolling something out like to make a pie crust. Because in making a pie crust, you know, you can, hey, let's make this really thin, and you don't want to smash your biscuit. Okay? Well, there we go. I have my honey, and I'm about to squirt some all over it, and have some breakfast and get our day going. So let me know what you think. If you have any other ideas, now that we've made biscuits by recipe, I wonder what else we're going to make. Stay tuned on 52 Biscuits, and we'll see.